Welcome to this week's episode of Forgiving the Girl Inside, a healing journey from to. Today we have a wonderful guest. She is an amazing woman. Not only is she a palliative nurse, but she's also a fitness coach. And her name is Bridget. She is going to share her healing journey from crippling anxiety to empowering peace. She is a wife, mom, and she's going to tell us some more about herself. So, welcome, Bridget. How are you today?
Hi, Lisa. Thank you so much for having me. This is so fun.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear your story and what you have to say. So, tell us about your family.
I have been married for 23 years and we have two teenage boys. One is a senior in high school, so he'll be graduating in June. I don't know how that happened. And then my little guy's 14. And then we have a 3-year-old lab shepherd mix who I am obsessed with.
Yes, fur babies are the best. You might
They
hear
are.
mine barking in the background soon.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm really not at the beach.
Right. No, if the Amazon guy shows up anytime while we're talking, she'll go crazy. So hopefully that won't happen.
She waiting for a bark box to come in the
Always
mail.
something. Yes.
Awesome. So tell us about your journey with the crippling anxiety. What happened? What was it like?
Yeah. So I have been a nurse for since I graduated from nursing school in 1996, and I've been a nurse practitioner for over 20 years. So you would think that I would understand the signs, but let's just say that I didn't. When I turned 40, I remember right around that time driving to work one day, and it's drive the same route to work every day, and I remember driving and thinking, is this all there is? Like, it's just like, this is it until like I retire, and then what's next? And that thought had gone through my head sort of more than once. And that stressed me out a little bit. And I've always been sort of a worrier. I guess you could say that I'm a worrier, but then I started noticing that I was having trouble sleeping, and I just couldn't set aside, like things that were happening at work, like I used to be able to do. And I don't know how familiar your audience is with palliative care, but we take care of patients during times of serious illness. We see a lot of cancer patients because that is a very serious illness. And we talk about not only symptom management, but sort of next steps and how things are going to go. So it's a lot of hard, heavy conversations. And I just started to notice that I was having more and more trouble talking to patients and sort of separating that. Like I was, I would say, like, God forbid a patient have, 2 sons, even if they were, for my age, right? The sons were my age. I thought, oh, they have 2 boys. I have 2 boys. This is going to be me. And just sort of ruminating on that. And what started out as that just kept growing and growing until I was having like full-fledged panic attacks. Call my doctor, I'm having heart palpitations. They put me on a heart monitor. We can't find anything. I remember sitting on the couch one night watching TV with my husband and just having this feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm having a heart attack. I'm having that sort of chest tightness. It's down my arm, the whole thing, and just really like, this is it. And how am I going to leave my kids? And, all that, just, sort of train off the rails, out of control. And it was scary. And so I went to my doctor because it just wouldn't get better. I was having even just this sort of low level nausea all the time at work. I thought, I'm coming down with a bug or something. What is this? Again, I should have been able to recognize the signs. In any of my patients, I would have said, this is anxiety. But in myself, I don't see it. So I remember sitting in the doctor's office, sitting on the exam table, and she came in and she's like, what's going on? And I just broke down. I just sobbed, and I said, I don't know. She's like, I know. I know what this is. And so, she walked me through, we sort of talked through everything that had been happening and how long it had been going on. And she knew the work that I did and said, you're sort of like predisposed to this with what you talk about and think about and immerse yourself in, for 8 hours a day. And so, we talked about a bunch of different tools that could be helpful. One, she talked about changing my sleep schedule. She talked about things like a support group that was specific to palliative care providers who, folks that would really understand what I was going through. She talked about medications. She talked about changing my diet. She talked about starting to exercise, all of those things, and just really helped me sort of figure out exactly what was happening and how to take control back of that so that I could actually function, so that I could go to work and stay at work an entire day, so that I could go, there were Sundays we would have Sunday dinner with my family. There were Sundays when it would be time to leave to go to my parents. And I would say to my husband, you have to take the kids. I don't feel good. I can't go.
Wow.
Not knowing what it was, thinking I'm coming down with a bug or something. And not being able to even be there with my family. One Sunday, I was signed up to be the liturgist at church. I'm Presbyterian, so the liturgist, reads the part of pieces of the Bible and does some of the prayers and things. And I remember getting to church and going into the pastor's office and sitting, and she took one look at me and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I said, I'm not okay. And she said, "Are you sick?" And I said, "I think I'm sick." And she said, "Well, then you should go home." And I, went into the sanctuary where my family was sitting before church started. And I said, "I got to go." And my husband was like, "What is happening?" And I left. I couldn't function.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's scary.
So scary.
Yeah.
So scary. Scarier to sort of even talk to you about it. Just like, wow, I can't believe that was my life.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you bring it up, and it's really, it's a struggle because you relive those emotions. And
Yes.
I know with my anxiety, it's, resurfaces. It's a daily healing journey to overcome it.
Yeah.
And so many factors play a part in, the constant negativity and the constant stuff that we're hearing in the news, and then the foods that we eat, especially coming off the holidays, all that sugar and those cookies and the, just, it's crazy how much it makes a difference in your body. And if you don't address it, and it manifests itself, and then you do become physically sick. I know a lot of women suffer with it, and they prescribe meds, which, I know you're in the medical field, so I'll bite my tongue. But it sounds like you were given more of a holistic approach to manage your anxiety. It wasn't like you were given that magic pill and saying, "Well, here, take this and you'll feel better," and then deal with all those side effects. So tell us some more about that.
So she, again, encouraged me to look for, even an online forum of other palliative care providers. And she really sort of talked me through, like, is this something that you would have access to? And I did, but hadn't thought about it. She said, here's some medication I could recommend. Here's, what are you doing? And she, of course, was watching, she can go on my chart and see that the weight had been creeping up. What are you doing to take care of your body? What are you eating? And how is that impacting? Are you exercising? Are you getting enough rest? All of those things. And it was really, this sort of 360 look at my life and how she could help all the different parts of it that were impacting. And so that's, was one of the things. And of course, some of the things were easier than others, right? It was easy for me to say, okay, let me find this online forum. It was easy for me to say, okay, let's try some medication, see if that helps. Adding exercise and adding diet, well, that's harder, right? Because that's actually changing something. That's not a switch flip. It takes more effort on my part. So that was not a change that I made right away. But for sure, the most impactful change. I think, to help consistently move to this sort of place of peace and calm and,
How did that fit in with your family? Because you said you have the 2 teenage boys who eat like everything in your house.
Yes. Yeah.
Except for the doors, right? So
yeah.
How did you find to be able to prepare meals that your whole family would enjoy, so that you weren't preparing meals for yourself and then something for them?
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that, because I think that's one of the reasons that I held back for so long, is because I thought, I don't want to give up family dinner
Right.
You know, like that. I love to cook and I love to cook for them. And I didn't want to, I didn't want to eat differently from them because I felt like, part of it was us all eating the same meal together.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, there's a fellowship in that.
Yep.
And I also felt like I didn't want my kids, at the time they were not teenagers yet. Um, but I didn't want my kids, and even though they're boys, this is important. I didn't want my kids to think, how many calories are in this before they put it in their mouths, right? Or, oh, I shouldn't eat that. I didn't want them, I didn't know how to make a plan that didn't feel like deprivation to me or to them. So I think that's why I resisted for so long, until I finally found a plan that made me feel like it wasn't deprivation. And I actually did all of the other, sort of mindset work, personal growth work to realize that this is, it's fuel, right?
Yeah.
And how do you fuel your body to be its best? Not, are you going to deprive it or are you going to, abuse it?
Yeah, I love
So,
that. I love how
yeah.
you said that. Mindset is 80% of everything that we do in every single
Mhm.
category, especially when it comes to fitness, emotional fitness, physical fitness.
Yes.
So I love that you changed your mindset, and it is you grow up like, oh, I can't eat that. That's not good for you. And
Right.
you do need to enjoy food, and you're 20% of the time, if you don't eat healthy, it's not gonna rewind set you
Right.
back to the point where you don't get the results you're looking for. So,
Right.
but having that overindulge, like, why are you eating this and what is it? So fuel for the
Mhm.
body, that's awesome. And you have a beautiful transformation, with your fitness
You're
business.
sweet.
So with your major pivot point, would you say it was the mindset that changed your habits, the nutrition? Like, obviously it's a daily healing journey. So what
Mhm.
if somebody wanted to combat anxiety in a holistic way, what would you recommend them to do first?
I would say, yeah. So I would say for sure, one of the things that I had never done before was read like personal growth books or, anything sort of even in that genre. It was
Mm-hmm.
just not, and I'm a voracious reader, but I had never read anything in that genre. So to start reading books that were focused on things like how to manage your anxiety, to start recognizing in myself, okay, what are my habits when it comes to food that are habits that are mindless? What are the things that I'm ingesting that for me make me feel more anxious? For example, I am a chocoholic.
Me too.
Yeah, and I love chocolate, but I also know that when I am sort of, that when my anxiety is up, I'm like shoving the food in my mouth and it's stuff it's not fuel, right? It's
Right.
fueling the anxiety. And that sugar up and that sugar crash it's not good for my body. And
Mm-hmm.
the interesting thing is once you sort of, once you sort of recognize that and sort of make those changes, if you have a day where you start to head in that direction again, it's so much more noticeable. Those
Yeah.
sort of symptoms of you, you have put one too many tablespoons of sugar in this body today because you can feel it. And I used to not ever be able to recognize what that was.
Yeah.
So for sure,
Yeah.
I would say personal growth was the biggest change. And then that helped me really realize like what other things can I do to help my anxiety? Can I change the fuel that's going into my body? And feel like I'm a little bit more control of that. What can I do from a move my body everyday perspective that's going to, and I exercise in the morning purposely because I know that that's the best time for me to set my intention for the entire day. Like
Right.
if I get that all out in the morning, I am clearer, I am more focused, my brain is better oxygenated to be able to better handle anything else that comes along in my day. That doesn't mean I'm perfect. That doesn't mean I don't get anxious. It doesn't mean I don't lose my
Right.
crap once in a while. But my kids will tell you if they were here. I can't remember the last time that I raised my voice, and I could not say that 3 years ago, even.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing the impact when you just take that commitment to change yourself, how your family just realizes, hey, there's something different about you.
Right.
I know in my own anxiety journey, when I started changing the way I responded to people, I do the one word journey as far one of my modalities, and my first word was peace.
Hmm.
And when I started promoting peace, my family would be like, wait a minute, we can't get her angry. What's going on? And yeah, you're still going to deal with it, but how you
Right.
respond to it is the tools that you need. And when you have that in control, and
Hmm.
like you said, the food that we eat is so important, because you eat that all that sugar, drink all those drinks. I'm talking alcoholic drinks. That's
Hmm.
going to make you feel miserable and angry and frustrated. I mean, it's actually, like you said, that brings your sugar up and then
Yeah.
down. So any foods that you recommend that really help, like if you were having a really bad anxiety and you were new to this, so some of our viewers will be like, will seek out this video because it has the word anxiety in the title
Hmm.
hashtag, and they're going to be like, well, what's a food I can eat to help balance it out, or hit that, when you're craving sugar, it very well could be related to that anxiety, that anxious moment. So instead of reaching for something with refined sugar in it, like chocolate or whatever, what could they reach for?
I have to say that it sounds kind of hokey, but I now reach for fruit because it's
Mm-hmm.
sweet. And specifically for me, I also like the crunch. So I would go for an apple before I would go for blueberries. And that's just
Mm-hmm.
me because of
Yeah.
that crunch. Um, if I am looking for something like, oh, I need something, oh, I really, need chips, like I'm craving something salty, crunchy. Okay, well, then maybe I need a cucumber sprinkled with a little sea salt. And then I've got the crunch and I've got the little bit of salt, but it's not an entire bag of chips.
Right.
So it's just balancing. And also, I think realizing that sometimes you just, not beating yourself up when the choice that you do make is
Mm-hmm.
peanut butter cup. Like
Yeah.
it's okay. Um, and also that, all that sugar high, whatever, like, I'm to the point now where if, if I'm yelling at the kids or whatever, if I'm snapping at people, I can sort of recognize, what is this about?
Mm-hmm.
Where that conversation in my head didn't happen before. Like I would hear myself yelling and think, stop doing that. But not this. Now the conversation in my head is, this is not about whatever it is that you're losing your mind about. This is about something else. What is it?
Exactly.
Yeah. And to
Yeah.
be able to go to my kids and say, listen, I, I lost my temper and it actually had nothing to do with you. And I recognize that. And this is what it had to do with, and sit down and explain to them. I feel like we're closer. And especially with my 17-year-old going to college next year, I hope that he has that lesson at 17, 18, 19 that I didn't
Yeah.
have until 46,
Yeah.
like how
Yeah.
much better served is he going to be with the time that I'm taking on myself,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Changing that pattern. Yep.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah. So you're a fitness coach. Tell us about
I am.
what you offer.
Yeah. I started, one of the other things is working full time and having the kids at home. I could not just going to a gym. You want to make me anxious, make me exercise in front of people. So I found the company called Beachbody,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody that I went to high school with was a coach, and she introduced me to the products and the programs. And I love the opportunity of being able to work out at home on my schedule. So I can do my workout at, 6 o'clock in the morning if I want, or 6 o'clock at night if I want. It's not on anybody else's, gym schedule, class schedule, when they're open, closed. I don't have to wear a mask, which is fantastic. Pandemic
Yes.
times. And then, the other thing that I think really clicked for me was that there's a cup at the time, there was just one, but built-in nutrition plan to say, if this is how much you're exercising, this is how much you should be eating. And
Mm-hmm.
it was like, those books that are like computers for dummies. This is like health, fitness and nutrition for dummies. Like I don't have to think about it. I just push play, do what the trainer tells me, and I eat, and it's like, okay, eat 5 servings of protein a day. Here's the ones you have to choose from. Okay. So it's really, I don't have to
Simple.
do
Yeah.
counting. I don't have to do weighing. I don't have to do any of that stuff. So for me, it just worked out really well. And I was able to help our family dinners fit into that same plan.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So do you have you do group coaching with this, or?
So yeah, so I started as a challenger, just wanting to learn it, and then realized that, with my nursing background, one of the things that they teach us in nursing is, I'm on the end now, palliative care, which is a lot of end of life. And coaching for me is really about health prevention, which is sort of it's like the seesaw of nursing. And so this sort of the ability to help people with health prevention feels like my nursing career has come full circle in a way that's fun for me. So essentially I take care of myself and I show other people what's worked for me and help them figure out what's going to work for them. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
so it's
another way to serve.
Fitness. Yeah. So a customized fitness program. So that's
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
And you have a website. Do you have any, I know you probably just launched, I think we talked about this earlier, you launched a January group. So what's the modality? Do you like get a group going like every 6 weeks, or is it ongoing?
Yeah, so we have a couple, usually when a new program, so there's an online library of workouts, and there's usually we launch brand new programs several times a year. So we always have a group that's specifically doing that one program. And then we have an ongoing virtual gym, we call it, where people are, the members in that gym are using whichever, we help them sort of customize what workout program they're going to do if they're not doing, the brand new thing that's coming out. So that's in the virtual gym, we support people with helping them, walk through their workouts, answering any questions. We help with recipes, motivation, sort of one-on-one conversations with folks about what's working for them, what's not. I had a girl message me last week and said, why when I get home am I like, I can't stop eating between the minute I get home and the minute dinner's on the table? What's that all about? And so we sort of talk through it, like, when are you eating? Tell me what your schedule is like. Tell me what you're eating before that. What's your day like? And sort of troubleshoot of how we could help her so that she didn't feel like she was on it. She was crushing it until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then the wheels fall off every day. And I love, like, that just fires me up to be able to sit with somebody and help them figure out how can I make a healthier plan for myself, because I also know that it's like a pebble in a pond, right? That's going to impact her family, their family, it's just going to spread and grow. And I love that because she didn't know what to do, and she had somebody to reach out for help. And to be able to be that person to try to help people, whether it's in, the palliative care world or the fitness world, I love it.
That's awesome.
Love it. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, to our audience, there's going to be a link in the description, so down below, where you can connect with Bridget at this program, Beachbody. It's an awesome program. I've been doing it for years. It's a great way, and having a coach is so important because, in our mindset, we think we can do it on our own, but you do not see results until you have accountability with a coach. So if you resonated with Bridget, be sure to connect with her, visit her website. She's she's very enthusiastic and very encouraging, and her before and after pictures are absolutely amazing. So don't let anybody tell you that if you're, in that mid-40s, that perimenopause age, that you can't reshape your body. That is a false belief. You can reshape your body. You just need the right tools and the right coach. So thank you, Bridget, so much for coming on and sharing your journey. It is incredible, and I just love that it was a holistic approach, and just took mindset into consideration along with the nutrition and the fitness emotionally and physically. So thank you for joining us today, and be sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell to be notified of the next episode. They do come out weekly, and we also have other videos that appear. So again, thank you, Bridget. Everyone, have an amazing day.